Hello, everybody. This is Windy City Thetan Watch. I am a never in. I am curious and furious about the Church of Scientology and its practices. Um, if you're new to the channel, I typically am out at the organization protesting. Today, I kind of want to do a review of what occurred yesterday and then, even more importantly, what happened last night. Last night, there was basically what I would consider to be a swatting incident, although the police didn't come guns a-blazing. The police were called. I had already gone home, but I think it was significant, so we'll get into that. But more of what we're doing is a little speed run of what happened yesterday. So um, I do want to start off with this morning. Trashy received, I think this is Citizen app. I'm not positive on that process, but Citizen app usually records police scanner conversations and such. So this is the dispatch, and you would have already heard it on his channel today. Um, but let's take a quick listen to that.
111 years around, City Live, yeah, bomb threat. Okay. 650 South Clark. Caden is the caller. He says his friend Snapchatted him and says he's going to do a mass shooting at that location. He says Scientology members killed his brother. It's going to happen tonight. He said pictures showing him the church and saying he had a bomb, weapons, automatic weapons, and handguns. He lives in a black older model BMW, and he's homeless. And we think his name is Jack Presley, and he's a male white. No further, he's on for a station clip.
Okay, so there's a few things that is.
11 years City Live, yeah.
All right, so that's from Trashy V12 BMW. So yeah, last night the two people that were out there later on after I left were Trashy V12 BMW and Severe Reality Adjustment. By the way, I think Severe Reality Adjustment does great clips on this stuff, and he's already got some clips up today. So that was, we'll get into that at the end, but I want to say that, hey, that there was a fairly serious call called in from the Church of Scientology last night. Next, I'm going to pull up some clips from yesterday. Bring this in. Sorry, I'm kind of pausing and I'm doing this off screen so you guys don't have to watch all of what's going on here. I went down early in the afternoon, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and Shannon from Chicago Scientology Audits was there. Israel Brownfield was there, and Clearing Clearwater was also there. There were, we had, again, good representation, a lot of people out there. We were able to cover both doors. It was interesting. When I got off the train, I was very surprised because the first face I saw was the gentleman who we almost always see handing out flyers. How you doing, Pocono? The person who we always see handing out flyers, and he was on the train platform, I'm sure, handing out flyers. He immediately turned heel and headed out of the train station. Now, this is a subway, so you've got to go up escalators and then up a set of stairs. And I was fumbling because I normally set up my camera while I'm in the train station, so I was not prepared when I got off the train. So I tried to quickly get that up, and I don't have much good footage other than I'm following him back, and once he saw me, he put his flyers in his pocket and he just went straight back to the org because he knew he wasn't going to be able to pass out any more flyers that day. So that was the start of yesterday afternoon. And then we got down to the org, and like I said, Shannon was there, Israel was there, Clearing Clearwater was there. Clearing Clearwater is a new channel. I'm pretty sure it's just at Clearing Clearwater. If you want to go over and take a peek there. She's going to need to get her 50 subscribers to go live, I think. Not positive, but she was there with us. It wasn't altogether exciting early on. We had a couple of people walk by. They started by while I was around back of the organization, and then they came to the forefront. It was funny. Shannon said, "Hey, his friend went inside," and the guy came back and started protesting. So here's that little episode. So I'm walking back to Shannon, and you see clearing Clearwater there.
Have they invited you in yet?
Somebody just went in. His friend just went
Nice.
in there. How do you know he's my friend?
So this guy, he protests for several minutes about the idea. How do you know he's my friend? You know, he was just walking by, and this person has some interesting views in regards to the Church of Scientology and politics. And I would say that he seemed under the influence of something there, whether it be alcohol or other items. And that's just an opinion I have, but it was interesting chatting with him. And I'm just going to say that he does protest too much, because later on we're going to find out that he actually is friends with the person that went in. The next thing that had occurred, let me make me smaller. The next thing that occurred was this guy decided to go in and find his friend, and Scientology asked him or uninvited him from the premise. So
Chicago's finest. Here supporting the Church of Scientology.
So did you notice as soon as I said Chicago's finest, and he, hey Fluffer, how are you? As soon as I said Chicago's finest, and he saw that I was there with the camera, he definitely backs away very quickly and moves off. Right, that just the idea of the shame of what goes on in the church. Now he's Blue Star, as we recall. Blue Star is all either ex-Chicago police or off-duty Chicago police, and they must be in good standing with the Chicago police, because that way they know how to tell the narrative when the police show up or are called in there. So that was fun. Now his friend comes out, and
I gotta go down.
Have a good day. Did you learn anything valuable?
Huh?
What'd you learn?
I learned the most basic thing I learned about, his name was Ron L. Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard, yep.
I was actually intrigued how he was speaking about psychology and how he knew Sigmund Freud.
Yeah.
And actually, I learned that this is not necessarily psychological, but it's more in relationship to the mind and understanding. And I actually find it very intriguing. And I find his life story intriguing. And I find it very, actually, in a very awkward way, similar to mine.
No, and I would say that it's at this level,
potential,
right?
And the mind. Don't we speak about that often?
I had you read a little booklet.
Yeah, and it starts with a booklet. It starts with
No, you
inner
still haven't read the booklet.
Hold on, I'll answer the question. And I did learn a lot, and I'm more actually
How did
intrigued.
you learn a lot?
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you that if you do any research on the internet, you're going to find out that he was kicked out of the military. He was a terrible leader in that. He tried to promote his mental health programs to the established psychiatrists and psychiatrists. Right. They all thought he was a crackpot, and once they kind of denied him entry, that's when he's decided
to initiate his own.
Yep,
absolutely. That's what any great mind would do.
Yeah, if you believe that's a great mind,
their perception wasn't large enough or wise enough to understand what he was trying to profess. They want a lot of times they want physical, scientific proof and evidence that 3 times it's always going to be perfect, but we all know that nothing is perfect, right?
Correct. I would agree with that.
So also,
so you're thinking that he's right and the entire rest of the universe is wrong? L. Ron Hubbard's right and the rest of the world's wrong?
No, I just think that he was perhaps ahead of his time, and the way maybe he illustrated and the accepted those things at that time was not developed. Kind of like even the great Carl Jung, like this whole Sigmund Freud, their concepts at one point was not accepted, wasn't it?
100% true.
And then now they're like the fathers of psychology.
Correct.
So it's like I said, their failure of perception of what his ability was.
That is a possibility.
Yeah,
No,
a great one.
yes, it is. Now, I will say this: you better have a good wallet because things are going to start costing you a little bit more now.
Well, that's
so today was free.
Okay, that's fine.
You just met your Coke dealer, and your Coke dealer gave you your first tip, and now the rest of the time you're paying full for retail.
Well, that's fine. I have something with myself, which is right here and right here, which is free. It
Yep.
will never cost me anything, and I'll share
I
it
agree
for
with that.
free.
Nice. I appreciate that.
Come on.
You have a good day.
All right. I was intrigued. Yeah, I'm not going to say that this guy was a doctoral scholar by any means. He held a conversation well. He was taken in by what was being said in there, and as we've heard from many people, there's nothing that you're hearing in these lower levels of Scientology when you walk in there that isn't just a it's common sense. It's universal truths that exist today in that space. And I worry about this. Now, again, I don't think that he's going to be a great orator for the church. I'm not worried so much there. He may or may not become enamored and join the church, which would mean that he's labor for the church. But I always hear the idea that, oh, the second gens were born into it, so they've got it, but nobody would fall for this, right? I'm just telling you, we're seeing somebody right there who, in my opinion, is falling for this, right? So that was very, very interesting to have that conversation. I'll say that the next 15 minutes or so is the original friend going into a lot of interesting political and philosophical statements, and I wouldn't say there was anything in there. Now, yesterday, one of the women that walked in, I'm going to say older female staff members, she, yeah, no doubt. Hey, Nance, how are you? One of the women that walked in, she put her hand up in such a way, and many of the people who were in the live chat, I don't know this. I don't know the signal that this is, but that she may have given a distress signal. So I want to just kind of repeat that portion real quick. Let's see.
Go in.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm a little clumsy in studio. So this woman, she just walked past me. And she's going to hold her hand up, and it might identify some sort of signal. It's a signal that I'm fully unaware of. So let's play through this. Now, in my opinion, let me see if I can go back there a little bit. I'm going to play it and try to pause there. So, yes, I do see that she's raising her hand. I don't know what that signals, or if that is a signal of distress in this space. But I'll say she also kind of stretched her hand a little bit, and I don't know if it was just that she was warming up her hand to grip on the door handle or something of that nature. And she did have, I would say, Parkinsonian type shakes when she went in the door. So, again, I'm not positive if she was under stress or not, but
go in.
Go ahead and watch that one more time. Yeah, I'm not sophisticated enough, or that may or may not mean anything. Now, at this point, it's what 6:15 local time. I think, yeah, because I got there at 5, so I think it's 6:15 local time, and in the next 11 minutes, we're going to see 16 staff members and a family of 3 entering. Now, this family of 3 we've seen before. So let's see here. Signal of 4 fingers up, thumb in, fingers down, around thumb. Okay, so that something of this nature, Fluffer? Yeah, and this is what I think is going on there. I think it's really just her exercising her hand before she goes to the door. All right. This I'm gonna play this kind of fast, only because it's about 11 minutes stint. But in 11 minutes, we're gonna see 16 staff members go into the building. Each one of these staff members, I have asked them, is there anything positive that you can tell my audience about the church? And every one of them remains mute in this process. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this.
Some of them might start that way, but I would agree with that.
And then I'm gonna speed up a little bit.
Can you share anything positive about the church with my audience? Are you unaware of anything positive about this church? So this cult hasn't given you anything? Are you embarrassed of it? Okay, so apparently this must be shift start time because we've got another one. Can you share with my audience anything positive about the church? Is there anything positive about the church? Has this cult taught you nothing? Are you unable to communicate? And you have nothing to say either?
We're at 1.5 speed right now.
Can you tell me, my audience, what the good things about this church are? So the cult has your tongue too. So going back to Jules, this is not a small org. Here comes another one. She's going to try the knocking process. Can you tell me something positive about the church? Is there any reason why the cult has locked you out? Isn't that a shame that you can't get into your own church? Yeah. Any of you have anything nice to say about the church? Is there anything nice about the church? You're ready to save the world, but you can't tell us how.
It's rather amazing that as good as communicators they are, that they're unable.
I 100% think that this is a true statement.
To talk about.
I believe there's an awful lot of imported people. Here's 3 more people that aren't going to have anything nice to say about the church, even though I'm offering them. You can tell my audience any positive element about the church. All right, go in and support the criminals. Danny Master spent 20 years without being charged with rape. I do think that they imported a lot of the talent. They're here to help get it staffed up. It's, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a pretty wide variety of ages that we just saw in the last 15 minutes. So this is not all seniors. There are several college and I would say midlife working age people here. They have meat in the building. Just a reminder that not only can they not open up the first floor windows, they don't open up the second floor shades either. So one of the things, a couple of those people that came by, they had a very large lapel pin. And I don't know if that means something or not. So almost everybody has the small lapel pin, but that just is the cross, the 8-point cross. A few of these, it was, I would say, triangular in nature, or a bar across the bottom with an arch across the top. But yeah, there was definitely people that had a very sizable lapel pin on, and I think that is denotes rank or department division.
Yeah, I'm going to speed up again. There's going to be
so it almost looked like she had a fist. And I saw the back of her hand. Right? Is that what you're speaking to? It's not necessarily raw meat, but there's an awful lot of human flesh in that building. We know that all of that human flesh is contaminated with thetans, and I feel so poorly for them. Highly unlikely that many of those are OT anything. Typically, staff members are not going up the bridge. Oh, hurry up! Bring your children in. Get their niacin. So these people were here on Monday. So that group was here Monday. So,
and by the way, I encourage all of you, if you have questions or if you think there's things I could do better, please let me know. Share it in the comments here. But we just saw a woman and 2 children. I'm going to presume a mother and 2 children. The youngest one looks to be somewhere between 6 and 8 years old. The oldest one, 10, maybe as old as 14. Not really sure on that. We saw them there Monday. On Monday night when we were here, they were here for for 5 hours. Tonight, we're going to see that they're here for 5 hours. They're going to be here after the police come and harass Trashy and SRA, severe reality adjustment. So if you look at that family, by the way, they show up in a very old car. The car looks like the car is being lived in. It's very messy in that space. These do not look like they're people that are affluent in any way, shape, or form. So I don't understand how they're affording the services that are going on in there. And then later on, as we go through this video, we're going to see that it might be in the second video when I went back and saw Trashy and SRA, because at this point it's Shannon, Chicago Scientology Audits, myself, Israel, and Clearwater. But we'll see that they're just sitting in the hallway by themselves, unattended by their mother, and then again their mother's going to try to escape the room as well in that space. So let's go ahead and carry on. I mean, it's very tragic when you see
when we left here
these
at
young kids going
10
there.
o'clock, that family looked like, I'm going to guess, a mother and 2 children. They were here until 10 o'clock. Yeah, agreed. Or the money right now. Now, I think that they don't have to pay to go up the bridge, and they can do that self-check back and forth. So, and I guess I've been too kind to them, not noting Xenu. Can you share with my audience any of the positive experiences you've had?
Correct, Amy. So they got there on Monday night. They got there around 5, and they were there until 10 p.m. And then tonight we're going to see, it's a little bit of foreshadowing. We're going to see that they're going to be there until at least, well, they're there until I think Trashy and SRA headed home around 9:45. So we'll presume it was 10 o'clock as well in that process. These 2 girls, they had come out of young women. They had come out of the org earlier, and you saw that the 3 gold-vested men came out to help the girl that was with the locked door, woman with the locked door. I'm sorry, I'm a dinosaur, and I probably don't use age-appropriate pronouns as well as properly as I should have. I mean no ill intent. I'm just an old codger. Yeah, I do, and I do think that Trashy does a great job too. Trashy really gets people to engage, and I love being out there and watching him, and it makes me feel more confident going out there. I will definitely say that I think my question is very simple. Can you share anything positive about the church? I don't think there's a negative. There's no way to consider that a threat. There's no negative element to it. And yes, I'm more than willing to stop anytime when somebody wants to tell me what that is. I'm going back to the earlier chat. Yeah, these are young women. They are probably college students from the area and recently recruited into that. And if you go back, a couple of weeks now at this point, I saw that people that were going into. I'll see. I will do that. And then there's the idea of what do you think the church could do for me? But again, them not knowing me, I don't know. But yeah, I'll ask them what they like about the church. That it's, I'll say this in this video several times that while I was on the street, Aaron has often said that Chicago is kind of a backwaters of Scientology. It wasn't an important org. It was never highly populated. It was just this old dank building in Lakeview. And in all of the time that Trashy was there and that Shannon was there and that I was up at the old Oregon Corn, have been up there, well, we could maybe figure out that there were 12 people total on all shifts and all staff there. And we're seeing quite an influx, right? I mean, we saw 16 staff members in an 11-minute period, and what I'm about, after we get through everybody now just arrived at the org for their shift, we're going to start seeing everybody exit, all the people that were on shift exit. So we're going to see approximately the same number of people leaving in time, which that it really plays into the to what Nancy's saying. Yeah, they're trying. It is a full court press, and they're showing some effort here. Let's see here. I'm gonna blast by that. I finally got somebody to respond to me when I was asking this question, and let's listen to this woman.
Can you share anything with my audience about what's great about this church? Such as? By the way, we got a response. So everything.
She did respond. She said everything. And then I said, hey, such as, and again, you can't enumerate the everything, right? Hey, the church has made my life so much better. In what ways has the church made your life better? I'm a much better person now. In what way are you a much better person now? So that's always fun. Now, this next, I got 2 responses in a row, which was very, very surprising to me. I was a little bit gobsmacked of, oh my gosh, people are talking. So this is the.
Share anything positive about the church? Is there anything positive about the church?
I'll go back on that one again. I feel
good about myself. We have 2. Share anything positive about the church? Is there anything positive about
the mic wasn't strong enough. She said nope. Her answer was nope. And it's like, okay, nope, there is nothing positive, or no, you don't want to share. So I always love that. Yeah, this is, again, I wonder if we need somebody like a Mike or a Claire to do seminars. Now, I'm not positive the police even want to hear it, but it would make perfectly good sense that we're figuring out a way to get them educated, because this call that happened later on this evening, somebody's going to get severely hurt on one of these calls. And I'm going to say the police obviously didn't think it was a real threat, because they didn't come guns a-blazing. They came in, they went and talked to the Scientologist. The Scientologist told them her story. They came out, and then they addressed Trashy and SRA, and I'll say cop-splaining is what they did. This one I really like. If you've been following my channel, you'll notice that I go over there very often, and one of the first things I do is I try and get the blinds down. Well, this woman is always on staff when I'm doing, well, often on staff when I do that, and I'll wave to her as she comes up, because I know that she's got to hustle and get this up here. And I think that I'm going to get a smile out of a staffer. So let me see here.
Hi. Oh, you're not supposed to smile. I'm telling. Care to share anything positive about the church?
Let me do that again.
Hi. Oh, you're not supposed to smile. I'm telling.
Oh, you know what? Let me pause that for just a second. I've got it running at fast speed, so none of you can see this. Let's turn it back down to normal speed.
Hi. Oh, you're not supposed to smile.
Well, but
I'm telling.
She does smile. She very
Care to share anything positive about the church? Is there anything positive about this cult? No, the cult's not good. The woman's going back in now.
So that's the woman of the 2 children.
So yeah, I didn't know if she was going out. Oh, here's my passer outer. So.
And when I say pass around, the guy that takes flyers, he's the one that I caught at the train station. In several earlier videos, you would have seen me following him, and as he's handing the flyers out, I'm telling the people he's handing it to what this is all about. So they immediately say no or throw it in the garbage, whatever that situation is. And now he's about to go for dinner, and he's going to go over to 7-Eleven and get himself a hot dog and a big gulp and head back. We'll see him later on. Let's see here. I'm gonna, oops, spin this down a little bit. Let's see what else is interesting in here. Good morning, No Carb. This next one is the staffers heading home, and Yeah, passer outer. I can make up any term I want to here. And yeah, which this again kind of boggles my mind. There is a cafeteria inside of this place. I don't know what the cafeteria does. I don't know if it's like a Starbucksy coffee shop where they've got maybe biscuits or breakfast sandwiches or anything. But oftentimes people are walking in with beverages, and I don't think that those can be Sea Org people because I don't think they can afford that. They might be staff members, and remembering that most staff members have a second job that pays them money, so that would make a little bit more sense. This next one is it's kind of funny. There's a couple of things that are going to happen in this next video segment. An older fella is going to come out. He leaves the door open, and as he leaves the door open, I can see inside and I can see the donor wall. I need to on the video. I can't. My video it's at like 720p because of the version of StreamYard that I'm using. I need to come back with my camera once and get a picture of that donor board because that's going to tell me who the high wealth individuals in Chicago are that are in Scientology, publics in Scientology. Then he goes back in and he plays a little game of peekaboo with me. So I think that's very fun.
So the person in the longer, this one I like to frustrate because I know it frustrates him.
Oh, that's not right.
So the 12, 14 years old, listen to adults tell very perverse stories about what they want to do.
I must have timestamped
And
this wrong.
these children can't leave the room. Search in any way, personality test, just I'm not going to first date. So,
oh, I know. I'm talking to 3 women right now. Sorry about that. Someday I'm going to get good at this screen recording, but today doesn't appear to be that day.
So the person in the longer overcoat in front, he will hand out flyers quite a bit. So, care to share anything positive about the church? Positive about the church?
So this is the guy that's going to leave the door open so I can get a good shot inside.
Somebody take a picture of that because that's the wall of donors.
Thank you, Dee.
I want to get a lot of names off the wall of donors. I'm going to have to come back here one day with, I've got a good digital camera. I'm going to have to come back one day. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm going to have to come back here one day and get a picture of that because I do want to remind the people in the community where the support comes from in order to build these churches.
This is kind of fun.
Look at them peeking through the window.
Can you see that? I just thought this was a riot. Right? This is blind tech gone wrong. Peeking is cheating. So, and then I say something a little bit harsh to he, and I'm gonna presume wife. So he's watching for a car to come by that's gonna pick them up.
Waiting for his car, probably. Yeah, if you think about it, there is nobody feels to play on that.
So here he comes out
when somebody's in there. Care to share any positive experiences about the church?
Again, no positive experiences.
There are no positive experiences with the church? Are you okay that they won't let women report sexual abuse? Are you okay that they traffic children?
Jump ahead, and he's going to, again, bring in... And
I can't tell if you're sad or okay about the fact that they traffic children. Those who won't stand against the trafficking of children are supporting the trafficking of children. Yes, please do.
And then I'm not going to play much of this, but
12, 14 years old?
There's three young ladies. They're standing outside the church. They're looking a little bit curious. So I start talking to them, and they kind of made it a journey to come over and see the church because they've been hearing a bunch of news about it. So they came over, and then I go through a lot of the explanation and education of what this really is, and the crimes that they're committing, and the practices that they have in that space. So at the at the 1:45 mark, for probably almost until I'm done for this morning session, you're going to continually just hear me talking to these three young ladies about some of the travesties that are going on here, and I can tell that I'm connecting with them. I don't put them on camera much. I didn't. They seem to be somewhat shy about this process. So I'm going to close this down for just a second. Is this helpful to anybody? Does anybody enjoy when I go through these faster? I know that if you already watched the live, you probably already saw it. So let me do that. And this was me coming back. So at this point, I've now left at 7 o'clock. I left. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. At 7 o'clock, I left and was heading home, and I saw that Trashy had just started up a live. Trashy and SRA had just started up a live. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to hang out a little bit, and I'll wait until I catch them. And I caught them heading back to the org. So I've now come back to the org, and I've just now set my camera back up on that process. Sorry. There wasn't much that occurred in here, right? We saw these are those.
You can
two
also
kids.
see the two children, right? The two children came in an hour and a half ago. So I wonder if they're kind of like in daycare right now while mom's taking a class. So
What I'm trying to figure out is I don't know if this is in Chicago. I think it's called DCFS, Children and Family Services. I don't know if this is enough to ask for a report on this, but right, the mothers. Oh, I apologize. I did not share it. Let me go back there. So let me go back a few seconds on this. Right. We're seeing.
You can also see the two children, right? The two children came in an hour and a half ago. So I wonder if they're kind of like in daycare right now while mom's taking a class. So it's very interesting. They're sitting in what in most religions would be a prayer position, right?
Yeah. So this was just interesting, odd. One of the things that I do like about being at the church at night is that you can see through the blinds so well, right? We're looking through blinds, and we're almost unobstructed, right? I couldn't read the things on the wall, but we can see fully through there. Excellent. Good news, Twyla. This one gets ugly. So you're going to see the older brother is going to kind of rush towards the back door. His mother's been hanging out there for about a minute or so. And I'm going to presume that the conversation was, hey, I'm going to go out and have a cigarette. I'll be right back.
For anyone that wants to walk by,
You see him running back there to the door.
we both work 40 to 50 hours.
All right. Hey, would you guys stay here? The back door just opened.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Oh, I'm sorry that when you run with me here, we don't get the stabilization on the gimbal.
Okay, now I'm seeing the run.
I saw them open the back door.
I need to have the gimbal when I'm running.
Maybe they were just going to a store or something like that. That's usually an indication that they're heading out the back door.
In the afternoon, the battery, on the late session, the battery was dying on the gimbal, so I just did handheld. And we'll go around back. Trashy has already found him.
See, rather safe.
Found
Overly
her.
concerned on me from behind.
Sorry, I'm just clipping ahead real quick. So I'm coming up on Trashy.
Skateboards are faster than people's.
And she's smoking like a cigarette or something like that, and she wants no part of this. So Trashy started asking her questions. He's got that survey of questions.
Careful. Careful, you got a car up. So this is the mother with 2 children.
And she's having nothing to do with this, right? So she in no way wants to chat with it. Hey, Sean, this is great info because these are the things that I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So the mother was probably in a course for the first maybe 2.5 hours, and then came out, because I do recall the 12.5-hour blocks, but you buy big blocks, but you don't sit for those big blocks at a time. So it makes a little bit more sense. The course time is 2.5 hours. Maybe there was she gets some time off or whatever, went and had her cigarette at halftime, and then goes back into the process. So very helpful information. On this one, we're going to see that the mother goes around front, she goes to her car, and eventually she'll walk back into the org. But she definitely doesn't want to listen to any of Trashy's questions. So, I'm sorry, I'm reading an email over here. Trashy's emailing me. So last night after he went live, I think he forgot to set his videos public, so we weren't able to see some of this stuff right away. If you recall, when we started the stream, let me go back a few. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go to the police interaction now. So we had, sorry, be patient with me, please. I'm going to grab the, oh, I don't have it. Sorry about it. Hey, Hans, thanks for coming in. Ah, that's interesting. Sean, question, are you an X or just highly educated as a never-end? Trashy was sent, if you go to Trashy's page, you'll be able to see that on his top post, you can see the audio call of the protest. I'm going to go over to Trashy's page on another browser real quick. Sorry. Apologize for the non sequiturs here. That one of his subscribers sent him, I'm going to guess it's from Citizens App on this process. And let's see here, Trashy's page. If we go to, this is very funny. If you just type in Trashy BMW without the @ symbol, Trashy VTOL BMW, there are so many people that do that. You actually see an awful lot of Trashy work. So, okay, I've got the clip.
Yeah. Actual, like, oh yeah.
That is not the clip I wanted. This is the clip I want. Folks, I apologize that I'm bouncing around here so much.
Hey guys, it's Trashy here.
So we
Someone
can see
shared this with
Trashy
me
in the
today,
morning.
and I just wanted to post it on my YouTube. Let's play the 911 call that resulted in that interaction.
111 units going on the citywide, bomb threat. 650 South Clark. Caden is the caller. He says his friend Snapchatted him and says he's going to do a mass shooting at that location. He says Scientology members killed his brother. It's going to happen tonight. He sent pictures showing him the church and saying he had a bomb, weapons, automatic weapons, and handgun. He lives in a black older model BMW, and he's homeless. And we think his name is Jack Presley, and he's a male white. No further on for station click.
So that's the call on why the police show up to see Trashy, and hopefully you heard that, but that's the call that brought the police out there. And then, sorry. When they were there, I apologize. I was not there. I had already gone home for the evening. They also, let's do this. So what you're seeing now is Trashy's channel, and they were able to look into the police car. I think that SRA captured this, and then we all got screenshots of it from the video. This was the call out for the CPD. Now, if we think about that, I'm going to say it's 100% madness. You're absolutely correct, Fluffer. If this was in fact a serious event, why don't we see lights coming at us? Why don't we see, if the police believed any part of this, why in the world do we not see the police coming in full force if this is a bomb threat, or if they have any belief that it's a bomb threat? So something else I'm going to say is that, hey, we're nearing the end of the shift, so this is a time. I won't be able to tell you much about what this means. On the bottom, I don't know if those are the questions that are supposed to be asked by the dispatcher or not, but you can tell that the top one is precisely what we heard on the audio in there. But the police did not come guns a-blazing. They did not have the lights on. They just walked in. That my presumption is that Scientology had a lot of members in the organization inside the building. They knew that we were out. They knew that Trashy and SRA were still outside, and they were going to confront everybody that came out. So they called the police, and that allowed their people to leave the back while Trashy and SRA were involved with the police. So I'm going to email Trashy real quick to see if he's available. Okay. I don't know how to share lives, but I'm going to see if I can bring him on right now. Let me see if I can figure out how to send a link out of this. Invite, copy, reply, send that over there to Trashy. Now, what'll be terrible is when he responds to the with the invite, I won't be able to ring him in. And by the way, Sean, I just read the your comment on this. I do, if we can reach out, again, any information is helpful, because sometimes we feel a little bit foolish as never ends, and it's always good to have some guidance or understanding of what's the best way to approach some of these people and understand what they're going through. So sorry about that. Trashy may show up. We'll see if that happens. This was the commentary that we saw or the display that we saw in the squad car, very similar to how in LA they started taking pictures of all of those all the time. And then the next one I want to show is, this is just tragic. I hate when cops act like this. So the police have been inside the building for they've probably been inside the building for 15 minutes at this point. Trashy and SRA are noticing that the Scientology members are kind of grouping together and moving towards the back door, again, giving us the impression that the police were called in so that they could get the people out of the building without them having to walk past us and listen to the questions in that regard. So now the police have come out of the car. The officer that you see on the right with the jacket and not really in full uniform, he was very cordial. When he showed up, he responded with name and badge number. The two guys, Trashy and SRA, said, hey, the first guy went in and didn't give us any information. And they said, oh, it's an emergency, so they had to. I was like, okay, fine. It was an emergency, he went in. So now they've come out and they're going to address Trashy and SRA. Now it's odd, rather than pull everybody together, one of the person on the right is going to talk to SRA, and he's going to be extremely reasonable, extremely calm the whole time. Everything's going to be fine. The one on the left is the one that Trashy drew the short straw. So let's listen to this. It's about a 1-minute clip.
I'm Sergeant Taylor, star number 2191.
2191, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, listen to what he's saying.
I can't hear him, sir.
Right. Okay. So you can't. What he's saying is you can't be following people. You can't get in their face because listen to what I'm saying. Let me finish. You can't get in their face. Make sure it's on tape. This is videotape. Okay.
I just want to pause right here. That this is a cop who likes to assert authority. Point blank. He's an egotistical person that wants to assert that I'm in control here, because hey, listen to what I'm saying. And the Trashy is just trying to engage. Hey, Trashy's here. Hey, Trash, can you hear me?
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Excellent. How you doing? So far we've listened to the recording that you were sent this morning, and we saw the screenshot of that. And this is now the officer who's coming out to cop-splain to you, and he's gone through the first part where he's just told you, listen to what I'm saying, because you had asked him a question. You had asked him something, a question, and he just wanted to assert his authority, saying, "Hey, I'm in control here." Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He didn't want to cite the law to us. He totally just was disrespectful, not professional.
I 100% agree. Now, it's going to get worse from this point, because at this point, all he's done, it's very early in the engagement. Let me go back a little bit and let you hear it, because it's only 20 seconds. So,
I'm Sergeant Taylor, star number 2191.
2191, thank you very much.
Listen,
Thank you.
okay, listen to what he's saying.
I can't hear him.
Right. Okay. So you can't. What he's saying is you can't be following people. You can't get in their face because listen to what I'm saying. Let me finish. You can't get in their face. Make sure it's on tape. This is videotape. Okay. You can't get in their face because they can interpret it as being assaulted, and you can get arrested for it
Without even touching them.
Correct. Correct.
Can you cite me the statute?
I'm not citing you the statute. You'll find out the statute if you get locked up.
That's not a very professional way to go about things,
Well, that's as professional as I'm going to get.
Wow, that's pretty rude.
Trying to explain to you
It's the
what
truth.
you can do and what
It's the
not
truth
to do.
and the fact.
Okay.
It's the truth that you won't look up the statute for me. It's not semantics, sir. It's.
So because I can only do a 1 minute clip, I'm going to say, A, you did awesome there. The idea that you held your cool very well, but how are you feeling when this is going down?
I was honestly mainly just frustrated. I really wanted to see a statute. Like, I'm totally open to changing my view on things, learning more information, and the cop wouldn't provide me any more information. Uh, I'm sure he definitely could have if he wanted to. So it just seems like he didn't care, or he knew that he was making something up. I don't know which one it was, but
Yeah, and my first reaction is he's a cop that likes to show authority. He needs to be the one that's in charge here. I'm going to say that I wasn't there. You guys were there. One of the things that I always see out there is that if you want to arrest me, arrest me. If you don't, I don't want to hear it, because I don't want to hear your cops. I don't want to hear you being a lapdog for whomever is sending you out here saying we've got this issue. And again, it's so easy to say this as an armchair quarterback in that process, but he knew that he had nothing on you. He just wanted to assert authority.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
very true.
So I felt like from this point forward, the night kind of wound down, right?
Yeah, it definitely wound down after that. It seemed like the people inside kind of talked together, or like maybe went off somewhere to talk together for a while, because everybody kind of disappeared for a while and then they came back. We never saw them talking, but it was weird that everyone disappeared and then kind of came back to their normal places, and then we left for the night.
Yeah. So before you came on, I kind of put a hypothesis out there, and I think you guys had mentioned this last night as well, that this felt like it was a tactic to draw the attention of the two of you away, so that the people that were in the org could leave either via the back door or the front door, because you're going to be involved with the police, so that they don't have to confront us questioning them. They don't have to have their camera or their faces on camera and stuff like that.
Yeah, when the police first showed up, I saw people leaving out the back door, so it was convenient timing.
Yeah. And that Snapchat is just one of the things that I'll say is that, and you hear this oftentimes, reasonable articulable suspicion cannot be given credibly by an anonymous party. And I'm pretty comfortable that if we're saying Snapchat said this, it would probably be easy to, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know any lawyers, it would probably be able to equate this to anonymous. So the idea that, there's no way they could have done anything on you guys in this process. So what are the next steps? I see your email, but nobody else saw your email.
Yeah, I mean, you can explain.
So what we want to do is we're going to go to COPA and file a complaint. Now, in Chicago, there's a civilian. COPA is the civilian something Office of Police Affairs, something of that nature. But so it's not part of the police department. It's a civilian department. You basically start complaints there. Now, Free Xeno Project has done the same thing recently, and eventually on Commander Harris on the opening day, that eventually went back to Internal Affairs on this process. So there's a very good possibility. We might as well file two. All right, we might as well go to the CPD as well and say, hey, I'd like to file a complaint. Just the same on that process. Now, some of the things that I think would be important, I like that we have the video evidence. We've got the radio call and the screenshot of what occurred there. The idea that did the police think this was credible or not think it was credible? Because they did not come in guns a-blazing, right?
They didn't have their hands on any guns, and I mean, like, they did kind of stop to talk to us, but they did seem in a rush.
Right. And my biggest fear is that this kind of escalated false reporting is going to get somebody hurt.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I don't want to be the one that said, I told you one of us was going to die, right? I want the police to be a little bit smarter than this beforehand to say, listen, you need to have a little bit better research in regards to what's going on here.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, at least notify them of maybe the other things that we've seen the church use and stuff like that. Also, I don't think you mentioned it. We'd also like to request a body camera footage from that night to see how that threat turned into lecturing us on laws that they would not cite us.
yeah, that was good. And Nance just mentioned in here that she's going to CAPS. Nance, what is CAPS? And by the way, if we can, in my interviewing process, somehow get me not to say as much, I'd really appreciate it. Is this going to stop you? How do you going forward? What changes in behavior will we have?
I mean, I've been trying to be respectful the entire time. Like, I'll always keep it in the back of my head that I shouldn't be in people's faces, which I do try to. Um, but yeah, I mean, unless they can give me like a better explanation of that or a statute at least to look up on that, uh, I don't think there's much I would change right now. Besides looking into maybe the police and Scientology connection relationship more.
Yeah, I do have a COPA or a FOIA out on. So it's a FOIA to get the body cam. I have a FOIA out on the date and time of all the calls to this address since March 4th, because I know that March 3rd being the opening day, it's just going to be a shit show. But
Yeah.
I do want to get a listing of that. One of the things that I will tell you is that you are incredibly respectful. You never quickly approach people, even though you've got a skateboard which gives you some speed in regards to that. You never approach people at such a speed that they should have any fear of what's going on in that space.
Mhm.
And you don't. I've never seen you raise your voice or yell. You know that we know that there's certain protesters that their forte is different than kind of the way that you and I react to some of these people.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sean. Yep. For FOIA, it's the Freedom of Information Act, which allows us to ask for official papers and so on and so forth when we do that.
Thank you, Sean Skin.
Cool. Have you ever done have you ever had to do a police complaint or a FOIA request?
I have done a FOIA request, but I have not done a police complaint.
Okay. How long? What was the duration of the FOIA? Did they return or reply to your FOIA request?
They did. It was some relatively simple information. It took, I think it took like 12 days.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry. Apparently, my puppy is very upset in the background. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on the speaker. Yeah, so I think my FOIA requests are like 3 days old right now, and my understanding is that it's got to be within a certain number of days that they have to respond
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
those. So cool. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. You're going to go up near you're going to try and find a COPA location near you.
I might just go to the city. I don't really know. But yeah, I might just look for a COPA location near me too. Yeah.
No problem. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the first district, which I know that the first district is probably going to turn me away only because Captain or Commander Harris um, oftentimes is well, he runs that. I don't know if so. Frizzino had a terrible experience. He called the police first, and he wanted to file a complaint. They said, "Yep, you've called the right people. Here's what happened. Blah 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 blah. Okay, who was the person you want to complain against?" And he said, "Commander Harris." He goes, "Oh, we can't handle that here." You'll have to call the DA. So they call the DA. What's the complaint? This person was very assertive. He did this. He did this. He did this. Oh, excellent. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Who is the target of your complaint? Commander Harris. Oh, we can't handle that. So this guy's got clout, in regards to that. Now, COPA did take the call, and COPA was very interested in taking the call. But eventually, COPA has to turn it over to Internal Affairs, and I'm sure that we're going to get the historical. We've investigated it, and there's no wrongdoing here.
Yes.
Commander Harris is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not aware of how powerful Commander Harris was, and or if he has any connection to the church. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't looked into that at all, so that would be interesting to look into.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, I don't think it's the same relationship that Tim Tallman in
Yes.
LA, right?
Mhm.
But I'm gonna make another hasty generalization, which I think is true. That in LA, it seems like the Hollywood department is in cahoots with Scientology. In Chicago, it tends to be that individual police fall into corrupt activities. It's not as systematic in that space. Now, I will say this: if Commander Harris is receiving any benefit from the Church of Scientology, he's in a high enough position that that's going to flow downhill, and he will be able to assert his authority to other people. But I'm not really ready to say that it's as bad as, I don't think we're going to see a Scientology kiosk in the District 1 headquarters
Yeah.
at this point. So, cool. Anything else that you'd like to say right now?
I don't know. It's like I also plan on showing the police like my other footage. I'm going to clip out today some of the other footage of the Scientologists who have, put their hands on me or hit me with their umbrella. So I think that would be good to show them, and then provide them with my information as well, so that they can see what I do, and
Yeah,
get an understanding at least.
I definitely think that's fair. And I commented the night that I saw the umbrella incident was, in any reasonable person would pass that off. We don't really care. But I would say that with how petty Scientology is in involving the law on these insignificant elements and false elements of trespass, I really think that we have to show them that here's what happens when you involve the police in every tiny little tit-tat matter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I guess that would have to, you'd have to then file another, that'd be not a complaint, not a police complaint, complaint against a person, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just quick, can you see the chat? I'm new to this as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. And I just wanted to ask, while we've got Trashy on here, any questions that anybody out there have for Trashy? And while we're waiting for that, I really enjoy, like I said, I like being out there when you're out there. I think that you approach people very well. You get people to respond. The number of publics that you've gotten to respond is really amazing. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I do like talking to everybody out there and just kind of seeing what their opinion is on the whole thing. So
Yeah. And I don't think that you do not come from your church sucks, prove me wrong. You really come from a very open-ended invitation to
yeah.
ask
Mhm.
them to inform you of anything, right? Tell me what I don't know on these processes, and I do like that an awful lot, and I do think you have a passive demeanor in regards to this, and again, I like that there's bulldogs out there that are yelling and ranting and raving, but that's just not my style. So I definitely I feel I enjoy being out there with you quite a bit. So
Yes, I would say the same for you too. I feel like you have a very passive manner, and you're honestly just there to capture what goes on.
right. Let's see if we can. So let me see if I can bring that up. again.
Trashy, do you know what the
Yeah,
U?
so on the screenshot, on the bottom half, I'm going to see if I can get back over there.
Commander Harris makes $186,000 a year without benefits and OT. Yeah, I think I've heard ranging salaries, but yeah, that sounds close.
Oops, I'm going to add that to the stage. I'm going to take, so I don't know if you can see this very well, but you probably have a local copy as well. In the bottom half,
okay, what is?
Where is it right now, question mark, and then there's a U in parens. Oh, you know what, is that unanswered?
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if this is the script that the dispatcher went through when the 911, whenever the call came in.
Yeah, I would bet that is unanswered, yes. Yeah, I think this is just probably a list of questions that they get for like a certain type of call. They probably have spreadsheets of different questions that they want to fill in the blanks for.
Yeah. And I want to put another call out that severe reality adjustment. He is a clip monster. I love the clips that he's been putting out. You know, early on I saw that he had a lot of stuff off of your channel, but I think, you know, now he's got enough content that he's able to show quite a bit there as well.
Yeah.
And again, this is just it's just showing more of that. We're making more people aware, so we're broadening the stage, right? Something that I've said in many of my chats before, I'm not looking to get the biggest piece of the pie as the protesters have it today. I want the protest pie to continually grow, and I want us all to have that space in there. So
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I honestly just want to see people reporting on this. Like, I think somebody should be trying to make like a small documentary or something on the whole movement. But I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of actual news sources covering it, but it is growing, so it's interesting.
Agreed.
And what I also find is interesting is that the church really doesn't make any comments on the whole protesting movement either, because you can see there is a protesting movement in all the cities that have had orgs open. There's protests, and you don't see Scientology commenting on that at all.
Agreed. That it's usually a proxy, right? The idea of Quelly Quaza, he was on stage the night of, he'll defend the church, or some of the other ministers around the area will defend it. But the church itself, you're right, they won't stand up in their own defense. But that might go back to LRH, you know, always attack, never defend.
That might.
I tell you, we've got, I don't know how much time you have, but we just got raided by Mexican Longhair's channel. Do you mind if I replay the video?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Okay, so here we're seeing the screenshot of the call that came into Chicago last night. What was it, 9:20, 9:40?
It was like 9:10 about.
Okay. So this is the call, and then going to go ahead and, so what's occurred now is you just saw that call, right? That there's a person with weapons, a bomb. He's disgruntled because Scientologist killed his brother, and the police arrive. They go inside. How long were they inside for?
They were not inside for very long. They were probably in there 10, 15 minutes at most.
Okay. And what we're now catching is there's two officers here, and I apologize for the people that were in the chat already. The officer on the right very level-headed. He talked with us when he came. I apologize, I keep on using the word us. He talked with Trashy and SRA when he came into the scene. They conveyed their concerns with the other officer. So he's going to come out and he's going to talk to SRA. And I thought that was a very rational conversation. Everything sounded great. Tone, volume, everything was fine. And then Trashy drew the short straw, and we're going to see the engagement with the officer that comes and talks to him.
I'm Sergeant Taylor, star number 2191.
2191, thank you very much.
Listen,
Thank you.
okay. Listen to what he's saying.
I can't hear him.
Right. Okay. So you can't, what he's saying is you can't be following people. You can't get in their face. Because listen to what I'm saying. Let me finish. You can't get in their face. Make sure it's on tape. This is videotaped too. Okay. You can't get in their face because they can interpret it as it being assaulted, and you can get arrested for it.
Without even touching them.
Correct. Correct.
Can you cite me the statute?
I'm not citing you the statute. You'll find out the statute if you get locked up.
That's not a very professional way to go about things, sir.
That's as professional as I'm going to get.
Wow, that's pretty rude.
Trying to explain to you what you can do and what
It's
not
the truth
to do.
and the fact.
Okay,
It's the truth that you won't look up the statute for me. It's not semantics, sir. It's.
I'm Sergeant Taylor, star number 2191.
Okay, so again, every time I read that or listen to that, it's again the arrogance of this officer that has to present his power is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I replayed that mostly for all of the people that just came over from MLH, and thank you so much for coming over from MLH. Appreciate it, Mexican long hair. Any questions for Trashy while we've got him on the chat? Just to let you know, we do plan on lodging some complaints both with CPD and COPA, and Nance has some ideas that we can use for CAP, which is another place where the police listen to civilian complaints in this space. Yeah, I'm not going to complain with you on that one, Southern Yankee. Appreciate that. And 100%. I said this before, just to remind the people that have come in. Your calmness in this whole interaction, awesome, right? It's like watching Jay out in Denver. That the police have him in handcuffs, and people are walking by and says, "Don't go in, it's a cult." And he's much more concerned about these people that are going by than he is about what's really happening to him. So, I do. This is funny. I do have another video. I do have another clip. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Yeah. My elbow is feeling it a little bit, but no, I don't have any bruises. I'm good.
That's excellent. That was fun. It was what was odd is I've seen you for quite some time skateboarding, and this idea that had it not been the hidden obstruction underneath the cone,
Yeah,
there's no way this happens.
Yeah, the cone was bolted to the ground.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. So this is Trashy showing us his skills.
Bro, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever done.
I love the first response too.
The nice swirl right there. Nice.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, you were talking about the documentary. We need to get a lot of this video to Kelly Copter to see if she can help with creating a good timeline here.
Yeah.
The other one on Nance's channel this morning, somebody did a sounding like a professional voiceover of one of the police interactions that was happening out in LA when Danny was getting swatted, and kind of narrating the idea of, oh, now they've got him doing this. But it was a Morgan Freeman type voice overall. So that was awesome. All right. I don't think we've got much else to chat about here. If anybody in the chat has anything that, again, they want to ask Trashy, myself, again, we're just people that are out there trying to capture the events. I personally don't feel that I'm going to get a legacy member out of Scientology, but I want to do whatever I can to make sure that no new members are entering Scientology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just making the public aware. Yeah.
Yep. Here's Nance. So Nance is a local here. Nance has a good history in protest and history there. And then Trashy V12 BMW, which, by the way, I did a search for that earlier. And if you don't put the @ symbol in there, there's a lot of people that have Trashy V12 BMWs, it seems. I was getting an awful lot of people with their BMW cars on there. And you didn't even show up on the first screen.
Interesting.
So, that was very cool. Wait, we do have a question. Oh, and I agree with this. I don't know that we've been saying this. I know that we do say this to the Blue Star people, right? We've asked the Blue Star people if they feel good about this.
Yeah, so I started a list of questions to ask people coming in or out of Scientology or the Scientology building, and that might be a good list to start now. Is the list of questions for the police?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's SRA has a good clip of this cop, the one that kind of says, "Well, we don't know what goes on inside of there. All we know is what we got called out for." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that idea that I would love to educate you, because as a person who's supposed to be protecting us, right, and enforcing the law, you're standing behind an organization that has a long record of violating those laws.
Yeah.
Now, I still think that, even though most of our police encounters have been good, this is the worst that I've seen out of all of us. Opening day was ridiculous, but if I take opening day out of the situation, I think this was the worst reaction we had.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this was probably the streets department that had done the work, and they probably put the cone there so that people wouldn't actually hit the bare metal piece that was underneath there.
Yeah, it was probably honestly there, to protect me, but
it was kind of saying, don't hit this.
Yeah, don't go here.
and maybe not everybody got that message. Cool. All right. I really appreciate having you on here. It was fun chatting with you. If you do need help up there, that's great. I am going to head down to the District 1 just to file a complaint on the sergeant that came by last night. So
all right. Sounds
at this
good.
point, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it.
Yeah, at this point, remember, like and subscribe all these channels. We're trying. All of us are still trying to grow our hours. We saw Mexican Long Hair in here, Trashy V12 BMW. SRA is at severe reality adjustment, and Shannon Chicago Scientology audit, Shannon H.120, I think. So I think that's all I've got. So if you can like and subscribe, greatly appreciate it. And I will probably be out there this afternoon. So
sounds good.
you take care. Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.